Okay, so this is an impression on Persona 3 Reload. Now, this is not a review by any means. I don't intend it to be a review. I have actually beaten this game before, like on the PS3, as a PS2 download, so I already know what's going to happen in the story. I know how or what is going to happen everywhere else. Know what I mean? 'Cause I played it. But I will say this game, it feels very new to play. Like, even though I've experienced it before, it feels new. I like to bring up start with a warning message that talks about how this game contains, like, bullying and the forbidden S word, like depictions of this in this game. Now, it's nice to have that at the start of your game, especially because some heavy themes with it. And it makes me wonder if they're going to put that in Persona 4 as well, if they do a remake of that, because there's a lot of weird stuff in that. Another thing is, I am not going to go into depth with the story. It is exactly like Persona 3. There's a few brand new scenes in there, but the new scenes are more or less mechanics for what I have experienced, because I haven't finished Reload yet. I just wanted to get some impressions out. And I do not want to spoil it for anyone who has not played the game yet. But I will say there's something to do with the full moons and the dark hour. Lastly, much like every other Persona game, you have social links or confidants if you played Persona 5, which, you just hang out with a character, they tell you about everything, their depressions and stuff, and they put it all on you while you just nod and agree to help them, which, by doing so, it'll allow you to create, stronger personas in the future. So you got all that like usual. If you play Persona 3, a lot of things from that game are still in this, like doing tasks for Elizabeth. They're still in. You can still hang out with Elizabeth when she needs to. When you can. There's all that. Other than that, I'm going to be merely discussing the pros and cons I have with this game. But we're going to start with the pros. And there's quite a bit of them. So here we go. For one, the voice acting. There's voice acting in every social link in this game. In the original, it was like, I believe, the first social link when you start it, and the end social link. This one is like from beginning to end, which is great. The only time there isn't voice acting is for those odd stories bits, but you get that in other Persona games as well, which is quite strange. This game does run at 60 FPS, and there's very quick loading times if you're playing on like Series X or the PS5. I would imagine so if you're doing it same digitally, because I'm playing on the Xbox. That's what you need to know. The visuals are very appealing to look at for the characters and the environment, and the UI is really nice and whatnot. I've heard like the people who made the UI got paid quite a bit for their time, because they've done a damn good job at it. This game features a brand new voice cast, so they're all different compared to what they were originally. But it's hard to tell if it was hard to tell if they were different, put it that way, because unless you know them by name. Mainly because like these voice actors do a fantastic job at recapturing like the OG voices in the games. The only one that sounds weird to me is Akihiko, who, I know this is very disrespectful to the voice of him, but he sounds like Wish.com or Temu or Diet Troy Baker to me. I do like Alejandro voicing Akihiko. He does an amazing job, but there's some parts where I hear Troy Baker and I don't like that. But I forgive him. Alejandro's amazing name. There's some new quality of life stuff in this. Like, you can directly control your teammates. That is technically a quality of life because you couldn't do this in Persona 3 or Persona 3 Fez. You could do it in Persona 3 Portable, but couldn't do it in those two. So that's great. You can dash in a game, so you can get around town quicker, even though you can just fast travel. So, alright. But it's handy when you're inside Taurus. You can, like, dash to get some chests, to whack an item, like one of the debris things, or to help you get first strike. Speaking of attacking, you can attack twice in Tartarus, so you can kind of do like a double swing. I want to with your sword, which does give you that bit of time to hit again. And going to the skills, you have Aha and Koha, which are the dark and light skills. Instead of just being locked to just like one-hit kill skills, there actually is, you know, the individual skills. So much like how Agi, you have like Agi, Maragi. You can hit one target, multiple targets, and you get medium damage and heavy damage. So they're like that. And they came from like Persona 5, so that's great. There is a rewind feature in this, which is really quite useful. If you let's say you messed up like a social link, like you made a choice and it didn't went your way, like you didn't get like a much like points on it, if you will, but you could have got more. You can access the rewind feature from the pause menu, and you can go back kind of like one scene before, and then you can try again at that same social link and get a different response. It is really cool, and I've been using it quite a lot. The network feature returns from Persona 5. I believe it was just in Persona 5. It might have been in 4 as well, but I wouldn't know. But this allows you to check what other users did on that day, like if they went to Tartarus, who they hanged out with, or if they just did something like play karaoke or something. There are some Link episodes in this game. Now, unfortunately, I don't have recordings of this, but it mainly you hanging out with like your party members, from what I can tell, and it raises stats. So, I hung out with Junpei, and he got like I think like stats like a permanent buff of +3 on his strength. I think it was on Junpei. It might have been on me. Because when I hung out with Akihiko, my max HP rose up by 5, which is good. So I don't know if it's just party members or it's just for yourself. I wasn't looking, so I'll have to double confirm that. But it's welcomed. This game does have DLC. Like, you got your costume DLC and music DLC. But you also have your Persona DLC in there. So you got Persona from like all of them, so like 4 and 5, so you can get Izanagi if you want. You can even, if I can tell, you can get the parties DLC Persona, like Captain Kid from like Persona 5, who Ryuji's. That's cool. This is one of the biggest changes. It's with Tartarus. Now, I would argue Tartarus on the inside had the biggest rework you can, like, possible. Not so much like with music, but visually. You see, in the original and in Fez, and Portable as well, every single room just kind of looked like a school hallway. Like, you had, like, classroom tiles and everything. In Reload, that's what the first area is like. But when you get to the second area, it's like, it's really pink. It's like alien-like to me. It's kind of spooky, if you get what I mean. It looks vastly different, and I can't wait to see more of it. It looks really cool. Later on in the game, the C's members all get like some new outfits, and they do look dope. Like, way better than what the standard outfit was. So that's great. I thought I'd mention it, even though it's very minor, but it's cool. I like it. So I can do what I want with my impression. It's mine. Now, there's this new feature called, I don't know if I'm getting this right, it's called Fullagy. Just so I'm not pronouncing it every single time, I'm just going to call it Signature Move, because that's what Junpei called it. And these signature moves are performed by doing certain character actions. Right. Now, every single character has their own ways of charging the gauge. Like, well, it charges automatically the gauge, like, normally when you're in battle. But by doing these actions, you can charge it quicker. It's a little... You can tell where the gauge is because it's right next to the portraits on the right. And it's like a wobbly jelly bar thing. And you can tell when it's done because it will say max. And once it said max, you can unleash some carnage on your enemies. Or, you know, with a protagonist's signature move, what he starts with, you can heal all your teammates and give them more accuracy and evasion. But let me give you an example of a character that charges it differently. Being Yukari. Yukari's charges more if you're using healing item, like if you're healing. So it can just shoot up, and then she can use her signature move, which just targets one enemy, and it breaks through them, ignoring if they're not resistant to wind or anything. And that's another thing. They ignore weaknesses. So even though your enemy is strong to that element, it will ignore it and still hit them. I want it. Same with Drain. So that is really cool, and every character has their own unique one. The protagonist can gain new ones, but I don't know how else you can gain them. I've only unlocked the Jack Brothers one, which involves having Jack Frost and Pyro Jack on you, and that one's amazing because it deals almighty damage, which just hits, which no one can deflect that, and they take damage from it, and it has a high chance of knocking them over, which is grand. There's probably more you can unlock, but I need to find out, but I'm looking forward to it. Lastly, the last pro I want to talk about is Fuka. Fuka in this game is so good. I mean, she was great in the original, don't get me wrong, but she's way better in this. Much like every other party member with her signature moves, she has one as well. And it can do like random effects, like the other one I've seen is like it mainly heals me. I want it like heals the whole party. But then another one kind of like I think heals status elements. I believe it's random because I've got like different effects, but it is really helpful, and you can use it on any character's turn, and it won't waste their turn. So you can use that first, and then still use that same character, like their action. Fuka also has full analyst, so she can analyze her opponent and get you all their weaknesses. It does cost SP, but that gives like more use of using SP items on Fuka. And through leveling up, she can like unlock brand new abilities, which I have not seen yet, but they should be great. Now, I'm going to be talking about the cons. Now, there's only 2 cons I really have that I can think of at the moment. The other 2 are kind of like nitpicking, but I put them in cons anyway. Let's start with them. I am not a fan of the new battle theme of mass destruction. Now, I know this is a new remix of it, and this is like the battle theme what everyone knows from playing Persona 3. But this one just sounds wrong to me every single time I hear it. I don't know because it sounds off-key, or the fact where I'm hearing it, it doesn't sound right. It's like that, this is going to be an obscure reference, but it's like that Cramp Twins episode with that, Rodeo Rita, and then Wayne said it sounded like she's being strangled. It sounds like that to me, and I don't like listen to it. Luckily, you can get a different battle theme if you get the advantage, and that new battle theme good. I like it. It's more upbeat and everything, so it's good to me. And just on a side note, I didn't really enjoy Mass Destruction originally because since that was the only battle theme in Persona 3 outside of boss battle music, it got incredibly annoying incredibly fast. The other con I have, and this is more on me to be fair, but it could be for everyone else, but I want to say it's more for me. Although I do love the UI in this game, I think it's smashingly well done. I'm not a fan of how the social stats look. Like, you have 3 circles that are trying to, like, connect with each other. That way it look like they're kind of like overlapping in a way. But I guess I can see where I'm going to get in the next level. But to me, it still looks as confusing as it was in the original. But to be fair, the original was way more confusing to me. I don't know why. I don't know, it's just a me thing. I'd much rather have like a chart that says courage, like get 2 more points and your courage is this level, rather than just have this weird ball thing. Like that Sophia's are just going up. But that's just on me, like I said. Right, the only next 2 are, like I said, nitpicks. So, one nitpick I have is that I wish the protagonist could equip other weapons like he could in Fez. I believe he could do it in Persona 3, the original, but I don't think he could. Because I only played Fez. That's what I'm going to use. But just that, like, you have all these different weapon types, but you're stuck with a short sword. Which, I like the short sword, but I wish I could use other weapons to make my playstyle a bit more different. I mean, he could change persona, so why not change weapon? I don't know if it's like a thing that you can unlock later on in the game. I highly doubt it. But it would be cool to have. And lastly, I wish this game would be... I wish this game would be, like... Persona 3 complete. So it has content from Persona 3, Fez, and Portable. Including like the female protagonist. Just adding like a brand new playthrough to go... I want for the game. And also the controversial answer, what a lot of people didn't like in Fez. I'd much rather have all that, despite the answer not being that good. Because it would be great to have just the complete Persona 3. Now, who knows, they might make these DLC, or they might put them in if they, I don't know, re-release the game, I suppose. But who knows. Other than that, I really like this game, and I am going to finish it. Give it some time for it. One thing I forgot to mention, I'm playing it off the Game Pass, so if you have that, you can play it, which is great. If not, use your own judgment. If you like it, I say just go play it. Right, there's some additional things I want to add that I forgot to talk about. So I'm just going to quickly add these in. For one, so these are just like missing pros and cons, if you will. I'll start with a pro. I like that this game had a baton pass similar to Persona 5, where you can just swap between your teammates. You can even swap back to yourself, so you can do something with one character, attack, swap to them, and then swap back. I want you to get like the weakness. That's really good, really super slick and cool. And with the con, this is just like an experience for me, but I think the AI is stupider in this game. Like, really stupid. I don't know if because I'm playing on merciless mode or what, but most of the time, and it's in the footage as well what I've gotten, most of the time the enemies will get like a weakness on me. and they won't continue. They won't follow it up. You know, if you get what I mean. Take an example. If I got Jack Frost on my persona, now Jack Frost he's weak against fire, and then I get hit by fire, which of course knocks me down. Right, so this is bad. And then the enemy gets another shot. Instead of the enemy like using fire on me again to, you know, take me out, he'll just use it on like Junpei or something, who's not weak to fire at all. And this has not been like an instance that's happened like once or twice. It's happened most of the time like when I've been in battle. It's even happened on a boss battle before. So anyway, I just wanted to put this in there because I forgot to mention it. So they're in there now. So yeah. Other than that, thank you for, you know, watching. I know this impression sounded a bit weird compared to my last one. I actually prefer doing it like this compared to the other way around. So I'm going to continue doing this way. But if you like what you heard and what you saw, be sure to give me a like, share the video, subscribe if you want more content like this. Yo, comment, share, like, what other, like, if you know, not exactly what other games you played. I mean, you could recommend me a game to play if you want. I may or may not play it. But you can tell me, like, what your thoughts on Persona 3 Reload. Do you like it? Do you hate it? I'm open to whatever you want to say about it. Other than that, you can follow my socials on Twitter. I know it sounds weird when I say it, but you can follow me on Twitter in description. I'm on there, same with Kitsu. Kitsu Newgrounds is on there, so if you want to follow that, you can do. But other than that, thank you for, again, listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright.